You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, B&B fans, we've got to talk about the accusations flying out of Li Finnegan's mouth aimed at her sister, Poppy Nozawa. This is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and if you saw the Monday, February 12th episode, you know that Li unpacked some stinky, dirty laundry about Poppy that explains some of her issues with her flighty younger sister. Let's dig into all of this and talk about what medicine that Poppy might be abusing and whether Luna will find out, because we did find a medication that almost exactly fits Luna's symptoms and that could possibly pass for a mint. Please click subscribe if you haven't. Now let's discuss it. So it was pretty interesting to hear Li Finnegan read Poppy Nozawa the riot act on this week's first episode. At first, whenever Li was all up her sister's backside, I kind of thought, okay, she's just being a jerk. She's being kind of judgy. Maybe she's jealous because her sister had a biological child and she didn't, or jealous because Li figured out she had married, that cheating creep Jack, who cheated on her with murderous Sheila and got her pregnant. But the more these snark sessions have deepened, the more it becomes apparent that Poppy may not be just happy-go-lucky or devil-may-care or adventurous or a free spirit, as Bill likes to call her. Maybe she's a problematic person with a history of drug addiction. And now, according to her big sister, there are signs of ongoing drug abuse. Now, Poppy called her little mints herbal, but Li seems to know more about them than Poppy does. She told Poppy, you cannot even be certain what's in those and can't know what they will do to you. So she's not getting these at a pharmacy. She's getting them, that means, from some sort of dealer. These are not CBD edibles, y'all. These are not THC. This is not legalized marijuana. I live in a state that has medical marijuana. This is not that. Not that at all. So Li said, what Poppy calls fun-loving and, adventurous and whatever is, she sees that as a sign that her little sister is on drugs. And every time she said these things, Poppy would just hang her head. It's all clearly true. And when Poppy referred to them as her mints, Li called it her stash, because that's what you call when someone has a pile of illegal drugs. And Li said, as a doctor, she knows the signs that Poppy is using. And then she started grilling her sister on how often she takes them. She called her a druggie. Poppy was all full of denials and said they just give her a little lift now and then. Poppy will not admit what's in her little happy pills. Li doesn't even think that her sister knows what's in them, which is scary, very scary. So based on, what we know, they are chewable or dissolvable. They made Luna loopy, happy, sleepy, and uninhibited. I mentioned that I thought they might be some kind of Xanax, and somebody came into the comments saying that they would taste bitter. Yes, some versions of it do. There are also several different brands of Xanax because it's not, there's a lot of generics of it now, and one of them comes in a tablet specifically meant to dissolve in your mouth, not to swallow or chew up or anything. One brand of this benzodiazepine even comes in orange flavor. I mean, orange Tic Tac mints have always been my favorite. So I feel like Bold may never tell us the specific chemical name of what the pill or the drug that Poppy is popping that Luna took from her. But here is what alprazolam. Alprazolam? I'm going to call it alprazolam. That is a form of benzodiazepine. Alprazolam, especially if you take it with alcohol, this is what it does. And remember, Luna was drinking champagne at the wedding. So according to Google, alprazolam, and I hope I'm saying that right, is the most widely prescribed psychotropic medication in the US. It's specifically for anti-anxiety issues. It is also abused regularly and used for recreational use. People like, Poppy, because to be clear, even if Poppy has an anxiety issue, she is not seeing a doctor and getting a prescription for these medications. She is taking an illegal off-market pill. Even if you were prescribed something and then you go buy it off the street, you are still abusing a prescription drug. Unless you get a prescription, go to the pharmacy, get it filled, that is, considered recreational use and abuse if you don't have that doctor prescription. So it says these pills are abused often because they cause sleepiness, euphoria, and disinhibition. That means you can cut loose and party. Think about the way that Luna was acting. She kept giggling. Then she was yawning, and then she thought RJ was getting into bed with her, didn't realize it was Zende, wanted to get frisky. And if she was getting very frisky, and being very forward, then maybe that's why Zende was freaked out when she didn't remember the morning after. I mean, maybe she was the one being more aggressive about them doing the deed. This is just so messy and so soapy. And just honestly, I hope that Zende didn't really sleep with her. I hope he's just kind of going to let RJ and Luna think this just to drive RJ crazy, maybe to break them up. I don't know. I think that would be fun and soapy without Zende actually doing the deed with someone who was chemically unable to consent, even though he didn't know it, I think RJ and Luna might argue that Zende should have known because before that she had always rejected him, but then he was in her bed. It's a mess, no doubt, but this is a plot Bold has done several times in the past, so it's very plausible they're going to go down this path. I wonder if we're also going to get the ugly truth about what drug Poppy's taking, because I wonder if Luna might go to Finn and ask him to run a toxicology report. Maybe she wants to know exactly what was in her system if her mother can't tell her the truth or refuses to tell her the truth. She is going to find out this week that she had her mom's magic mints and this happened. I just wonder if she wants answers and goes to Finn. So I'm certain Poppy's going to feel very guilty about all this, but I don't know if that guilt is going to have her tell the truth because she's keeping secrets about who's Luna's father, now these pills, and apparently she's been a pill popper for a while, according to her sister. So I just wonder how much truth she'll finally tell her daughter. I still suspect Luna's real last name should be Finnegan, and Poppy got in bed with either Lee's husband or her adoptive son. Either way, it's a sticky wicket, and it's just one more reason for Lee to hate her sister. Maybe seeing that she really messed up her daughter's life will scare Poppy straight. Maybe she'll go to Lee, admit she's got a problem, ask for help getting into rehab or something, because Lee told her that their bond as sisters is broken because of everything that Poppy has done. But maybe if Poppy started being honest with people and wanted to change, that she'd get some help. I'm just kind of wondering, why isn't Bill Spencer asking more questions about what Poppy is popping? So I just wonder if the pinnacle of February sweeps will be the truth about what drugs she's abusing and the truth about Luna's father. This is going to get messy. But now that I did some more research on flavored dissolving alprazolam, that's kind of what I suspect. Not necessarily a specific pill. Like, they're not going to say a drug name out loud like Xanax because they don't want to get sued for implying a medicine can be used as a date rape drug. And second, I just don't think they'll do it like how they never named the disease that RJ Forrester had. I think that if she does have Finn run a tox report, he might say, well, it's this type of medication, or or this is the kind of medication that can make you da-da-da-da-da, instead of saying what it is. I think they're being vague with things like this because they don't want to be busted for sloppy writing. And they think if they're vague that, they can make it all up as they go along, change things, swerve left, swerve right, and the viewers can't criticize. Of course, we're going to criticize if it's sloppily written and vague, like with Eric's illness. So we'll see how it goes. Be sure to check out our recent video on whether Luna is going to wind up with a Who's the Daddy story. Definitely drop your comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely come back soon. As always, this is Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.